Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com, the YouTube channel, and NoDQ&A videos affiliate, RingsideNews.com. WWE Extreme Rules is live on pay-per-view this Sunday, or should I say, it is a special event because pretty much every pay-per-view provider is not airing Extreme Rules. So if you want to watch Extreme Rules, in all likelihood, you're going to have to go onto the WWE network to watch it. So if you don't have the network, make sure you get it now. Only $9.99 a month. You get to watch every archived WWE, WCW, and ECW pay-per-view. You get to watch hilarious original shows like Legends House. And of course, you get every single live special event. You can watch it live or you can watch it on demand whenever you like. So WWE, I expect that check in the mail now. Anyways, NoDQ.com is also an option to get Extreme Rules coverage. We will be doing play-by-play results, and you may just want to come on NoDQ.com anyways because I will be tweeting my thoughts on the show, and you can follow me at twitter.com/NoDQ.com. Now that that's all out of the way, let's get down to your questions. First one today from Faux Shizzle Bash, Brenda Mensah, B. Hinder 1, Jai Jawaba, and about a million other people. Since Brie Bella called Stephanie McMahon a bitch on Raw, does this mean the Attitude Era is coming back? Here we go again. You know what? Screw it. Yes, the Attitude Era is back in full force. Anyways, on to the other questions here from GTFO, it's Dave. Hey Aaron, what did you think about the opening segment to Raw? I thought John Cena was going to turn against the crowd and go heel when he started going on about why the fans chose the whole Wyatt family to go against him last week on Raw. I thought it was something different from WWE. I will give them that. It was unique. It's something we haven't seen before. You had Bray Wyatt come out with the choir of kids, and they were all wearing the Wyatt family masks, and it was weird. It was a different kind of segment from WWE. Not sure what direction it's heading in. I don't know what the whole outcome of this thing is going to be. But it was intriguing, I will say that. And as far as John Cena's promo goes, that was interesting as well because I think that John Cena teased a heel turn more than he has in the past. I mean, he really went out there and acted like he was frustrated with how the crowd voted against him, and he seemed to be bothered by it. So I don't know what's going to happen with this. I don't know if we will eventually get a John Cena heel turn. It's hard to say what's going to happen with that. I got a question here from Favor Dave. Do you think they need to be careful with Bray Wyatt as the gimmick has potential to get really corny really quick? I think I almost heard the adult males turning on him during Raw's opening segment. Well, who knows? Who's to say that maybe WWE is doing this on purpose, trying to make this whole Bray Wyatt thing so over the top that maybe they can get the fans to get back on John Cena's side. I'm not really sure what WWE is trying to accomplish from all this. Obviously, everyone would love to see a change in John Cena's character. Whether he's a heel or not, the bottom line is the hustle, loyalty, respect, that gimmick that he's been portraying for almost 10 years now, it's gotten old. It's gotten very old. And I think fans just want to see something different. And I think that in all likelihood, we're going to be seeing more of the usual John Cena. It would really shock me if they did pull the trigger with a heel turn. And my concern about a heel turn has always been that somehow WWE will manage to screw it up. So if they're going to bother turning him or changing his character, I really hope that they have a good idea for what to do with him. Because with Hulk Hogan, he had a hot angle to get himself involved with. You had Hall and Nash coming in as the invaders, the outsiders, and Hulk Hogan saw this catching fire, and he figured it was the perfect opportunity to turn himself heel. With John Cena, I don't know if this is the right time to do it. I just don't know. So it is really intriguing and interesting, and I will give WWE credit for getting people talking, and a lot of people raved about that segment. So I mean, good for them. Good. From a creative standpoint, I enjoyed the angle on Raw. So we'll see what happens next with it and see if they have a solid follow-up for it. All right, this one comes from Fancy Ken. Hi, Aaron. I don't know how much you follow other sports, but you've probably at the very least heard about the Clippers owner's racial fiasco going on. What would you think if Zeb Colter came down to the ring in a Clippers jersey on Raw? Well, yes, I am familiar with the Clippers scandal that's going on because I do live in Los Angeles and it's the top story on every news program. I think that in a different era, something like this might have been possible, and it would have been very entertaining to have a heel come out and wear a Clippers jersey to get heat. But I think that in today's WWE, even if it's a storyline, even if it's for entertainment, I think a lot of people in the media would look down on it. I think that WWE would get negative publicity and people would say, hey, WWE's making light of a serious situation. I don't think it would be good for WWE from a PR standpoint. And because of that, I don't think it's going to happen. It would be very entertaining, but in today's PG, politically correct WWE, I don't see it happening. All right, this one comes from Acid IC Vegas. Could Paul Heyman's endless Brock Lesnar conquered the streak promo be hurting Cesaro? Because Paul Heyman has hardly said anything to put over Cesaro. I think it makes Cesaro look unimportant. Your thoughts? I was actually thinking this on SmackDown when they were doing that debate with Paul Heyman and Zeb Colter, and Paul Heyman kept bringing up Brock Lesnar. I think that, yes, it's good to bring up the streak being over and keep it in the minds of the fans and use that to get heat. But at the same time, you really need to start focusing on Cesaro. And it would really suck if Cesaro became a bit player in this whole Paul Heyman Brock Lesnar storyline. A similar thing happened with Curtis Axel and Ryback, where they were Paul Heyman guys, but all the focus was put towards Brock Lesnar, and those guys didn't really get anywhere. So I think it would be best to just drop it at this point. I think that they've done enough, and everyone knows Brock Lesnar conquered the streak. It's something people aren't going to forget about, so I think you can let it be for now. And once Brock Lesnar makes his comeback, obviously at that point you can start letting Paul Heyman go all crazy and bringing it up again. But yeah, I definitely think they need to drop it and be able to focus more on Cesaro being the main Paul Heyman guy for the time being. All right, this one comes from John Drix Romano. Hey Aaron, what were your overall thoughts on Sacrifice? Also, with Eric Young retaining the world title, who do you think will be the next #1 contender? Overall, I thought Sacrifice was fine. It was another solid effort from TNA. Nothing really terrible. Didn't really care for the whole Sam Shaw, Mr. Anderson deal with the committed match. But, I mean, it was fine for what it was. And as far as Eric Young, who he's going to be facing next, spoiler alert here, so you might want to skip ahead a minute. I figured at first it would be Eric Young versus Bobby Roode, but they had him beat Bobby Roode on Impact, which is airing this Thursday, and then I guess they're shifting it. They're shifting the storyline to Bobby Roode versus MVP, so it doesn't look like it's going to be Eric Young versus Bobby Roode. That, I think, would have been a logical choice of a match for Slammiversary, but I guess they're going in a different direction. Dixie Carter is hyping up, or MVP, somebody was hyping up that Eric Young's going to have this blockbuster opponent for Slammiversary. So I guess they're going to make it a surprise for the time being. And I got this question here from Wrestling Dude 95. What's up, Aaron? What was your favorite match from the TNA Sacrifice pay-per-view? I enjoyed the Gunner versus James Storm match. I think that the big problem was that the crowd sucked for that match really bad. But, I give those guys credit for going all out, and I think that if you had a better crowd, that would have been a more memorable match. And Eric Young versus Magnus was fine for a I guess, world title match. And overall, I mean, there were some good matches on the show. I think that Bobby Roode and Bully Ray was a good match. So, I mean, it might have been a three-way tie for me. I mean, they were fine matches, but I wouldn't say they were among the best matches in recent history. I wouldn't say that, but I mean, they were solid matches. All right, this one comes from Anthony TD35138. Due to the debuts of several NXT stars, do you see the Nexus coming back at some point? Oh, by the way, I wanted to mention from Sacrifice, I did find Dixie Carter putting on that disguise to be very entertaining. So I will say that at least we got something memorable in her doing that. Anyways, on to this question about the Nexus. No, I don't see Nexus coming back. I think that it was a storyline that served a purpose at the time. You were trying to establish NXT and get some new stars thrust into the mix. I don't think WWE would benefit from bringing back that faction. And you know, sometimes it's good to bring back a faction like Evolution, for example, when you can use it in a main event storyline. But for the Nexus, I mean, it would just seem like WWE was going back to the past and didn't have any fresh ideas for new talent. So I think that there's very little chance that WWE would do it, and I don't think they should. All right, this last question here comes from Lie in Darkness. Do you think that DDP's appearance on Nancy Grace could possibly hurt his chances to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame at some point? No, I don't think it'll have any impact on DDP possibly going into the Hall of Fame. I think that most people sympathize with DDP and feel that he got screwed over by Nancy Grace and she misled him, and he thought that they were going to have a positive talk about the Ultimate Warrior, and you know, it didn't really go down that way. My question is, why didn't DDP do his research when he knew he was going to be doing the Nancy Grace show? Why didn't he look up some clips on YouTube and see what else she has talked about when it comes to wrestling? He would have saw those videos that she did in those segments where she was you know, making all those accusations about wrestlers and steroids and the wrestlers dying young, and you know, he would have known better. So I just don't know if he didn't know what he was getting himself into, or you know, I'm guessing that's what the deal was. But yeah, I don't think the WWE will hold it against him. Alright, that'll do it for this edition of No DQ&A video. If you enjoyed today's video, please share it on Facebook and Twitter. Tell a friend about No DQ&A video, and I will see you guys next time for more.